Live from Studio 3A in Rockefeller Center, USA, it's time for the finals of the Up Against the Clock Tournament of Champions. She's found her way to the championship, but for her first 2 months working on Capitol Hill, she couldn't find anything to eat because she didn't know the Capitol had a cafeteria. Please welcome Kate Nocera. Before making it to the big leagues of journalism, he ran a weekly pub trivia contest in college. It's quizmaster extraordinaire Alex Wall. And if you think she's hard to keep up with on land, just try to keep pace in a swimming pool. Say hello to former college water polo player Crystal Ball. And now, the host of Up Against the Clock,
Thank you, Bill Wall. Thank you, studio audience, the real live studio audience today. Thank you for tuning in at home to what is the final matchup in this season of Up Against the Clock. In our Tournament of Champions, today we will crown a national champion. We've seen some sweat, we've seen some tears in this month-long event, and the finalists have had formidable and fierce competition to get here today, but each win has been well-deserved. Now, the rules for tournament play, the rules for this championship game remain the same as always. We'll have 3 rounds of play, 100 seconds each round. Questions are going to get harder as we go along. Contestants, you can ring in at any time, but I caution you, as always, you will be penalized for wrong answers. And, of course, there are instant bonuses scattered throughout the game. As always, I will remind our true, genuine, live studio audience, please, no outbursts. The contestants deserve and demand absolute concentration. And with that, I will ask our contestants, are you ready to play the championship game?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. They are ready. We are 300 seconds from knowing our national champion. We'll put 100 seconds on the clock. This is the 100-point round. It begins with this. In a federal budget proposal cutting over $5 trillion over the next decade put forth this week by Paul Ryan, it was also proposed that the subsidies for what railroad service be eliminated? Alex.
Amtrak.
Amtrak is correct. 100-point question. Former President George W. Bush revealed portraits from his upcoming art show on the Today Show yesterday, including one of this former world leader, perhaps his top ally in the push for the Iraq War. Alex.
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair is correct. 100-point question. Alex out to a quick lead here. 25 years after its basketball team won the NCAA championship, President Obama called for a raise in the federal minimum wage while speaking at the large Kate.
University of Michigan?
He's speaking at University of Michigan on Wednesday. That's right. And Kate, this is the instant bonus question for another 100 points. Who is the only president of the United States to have graduated from the University of Michigan?
I have no idea.
The answer is Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford, a Michigan football star. 100-point question. No penalty for Kate there. 100-point question. It was reported this week that talks are underway for a sequel to this 2006 Academy Award-winning documentary about Al Gore's environmental campaign. Alex.
Inconvenient Truth.
And Inconvenient Truth is the correct answer. 100 points for Alex. Back with this, Jonathan Goldsmith, who was on Capitol Hill this week to raise awareness about landmine removal, is better known as the most interesting man in the world, the main character from ads for this beer. Alex.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis is correct. 10 seconds left in the round. New polling this week shows this first-term Democratic senator running neck and neck with her prospective Kate.
Kay Hagan.
Yes, Kay Hagan neck and neck with her opponents in North Carolina. 100 points at the wire for Kate Nocera. That ends the first round. Kate with 200. Alex with 400. Crystal yet to get on the board, but we move to the... Lots of support back there, too, though. Lots of support for everybody. 200-point round now. Crystal, you can get back in a hurry. This is where things really start to happen. We'll put 100 seconds on the clock. The championship match continues with this. The CEO of General Motors testified on Capitol Hill this week about why it took her company 10 years to issue a recall for a defect that caused over a dozen deaths. Name the CEO. Crystal.
Mary Barra.
Mary Barra is correct. Crystal's on the board. 200 points. 200-point question. After passing the state Senate on Tuesday, this state's governor announced that he will sign into law a bill to ban abortions after 20 weeks. Crystal.
Mississippi.
Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant said that. That's correct. 200 for Crystal. 200-point question. After this Red Sox slugger took a widely circulated selfie with Kate.
David Ortiz.
David Ortiz took a selfie with President Obama and was paid by Samsung Mobile to do it. That's correct. 200-point question. The White House pushed back Wednesday against its former press secretary, Robert Gibbs, who suggested suggested that this portion of Obamacare, Crystal.
Employer mandate.
He suggested the employer mandate would be repealed is correct. Crystal, this is an instant bonus question for 200 more points. Gibbs' successor as press secretary, Jay Carney, was previously best known as a journalist for what publication? I'm going to call time on that, and the answer is Time.
Time magazine.
Time magazine, 200-point question. No penalty there for Crystal. After reading a lengthy opening question at a committee meeting Wednesday, this senior Indiana senator was informed by a staffer.
Dan Coates.
Dan Coates was told you are at the wrong hearing, sir. That's correct. 200-point question. Republican State Senator Chris McDaniel, who withdrew from a gun rights rally this week after it was reported that he would be sharing keynote speaking duties with the owner of a Confederate memorabilia store, is challenging what, Mrs. Crystal?
Thad Cochran.
He is challenging Thad Cochran in the primary. That's correct. 200-point question. It was revealed this week that President Obama's appearance on Zach Galifianakis' Between Two Ferns was actually pitched to the White House by this Kate.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper actually pitched it. 200 points for Kate. At the wire, at the end of the 200-point round, brings her to 800. Alex sitting at 400. Crystal with a nice recovery at 800. We have a very close game, ladies and gentlemen. It is all coming down to the final round. 54 players reduced to the final three, and this comes down to the final 100 seconds. 300-point questions here. This is the round that will determine a national champion, and it begins with this. Phoenix, Arizona, Columbus, Ohio were both removed from contention this week to hold what event in 2016? Kate?
The RNC.
The RNC, Republican National Convention, is correct. 300-point question. Harry Reid, who indicated this week that he will continue to serve as his party's Senate leader, whether it hangs on to its majority this fall or not, was first elected Democratic leader in what year? Alex?
2006.
Incorrect. Kate?
2008.
Incorrect. Time, it was 2004. 300-point question. According to a New York Times story this week, it was actually enteric fever and not pneumonia that killed this shortest-serving president in American. Kate.
William Henry Harrison.
William Henry Harrison is correct. Instant bonus question, Kate, for 300 points. Name Harrison's successor as president.
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
Tippecanoe and John Tyler, too.
Okay.
No penalty there. 300-point question. Andrew Cuomo agreed this week to provide more than $300 million a year to New York City to fund what program? Crystal.
Pre-K.
Be more specific, please.
Pre-K. Universal pre-kindergarten.
Universal pre-kindergarten is correct. 300 points for Crystal. 300-point question. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin claimed this week that he was duped into appearing in a documentary film and that he never would have participated if he knew it was bankrolled by Don Blankenship, the former CEO of what company? Alex.
Massey Energy.
Massey Energy is correct. 300 points for Alex. 300-point question. One of the targets of Bill Maher's Flip a District campaign, this New York Republican, fought back. Alex.
Michael Grimm.
Michael Grimm fought back this week. Is correct. 300-point question. This politically active billionaire used a Wall Street Journal op-ed Thursday. Crystal.
Charles Koch.
Charles Koch is correct. 300-point question. That's the end of the match. Crystal with that last question.